What's up, guys? What's up, Caleb? Welcome in. We're gonna try to do our return flight that I was gonna do yesterday. And try to do this flight getting back to Alpine, but figured we stop in Provo, Utah, just because I've had this scenery for a while and have not gotten to fly into there yet. So we're gonna fly into Provo, and then from Provo we'll continue to Alpine from there. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. Uh, these two legs shouldn't be more than maybe 2 hours at most. We're back in still at Grand Canyon National Park Airport, and like I said, gonna try to head back to Alpine via Provo. So I'll bring up here what we're looking at, so you guys have it. Let me see here. Yeah. So bring this up for the let's see, for the AFD. And so again, we're in Grand Canyon, altitude 6609. We did go ahead and get fuel and oxygen here, like we said earlier, or on the flight before. Uh, we're getting oxygen, or we got oxygen, and fueled up on Jet A fuel, which was like say like $2 cheaper here than it is in Sedona. So and like I said, we were able to knock out two birds with one stone, get fuel and get the oxygen bottle refueled. So that's what we did. So we got about 9,000 foot of runway. I think the active right now is 2-1. We'll be talking to tower, ground control here, and towers on 1900. We talked to them when we came in to land here. So we'll pick up our clearance. We're gonna have to pick up our clearance from ground because again we can't call Los Angeles. We don't have a phone to call to pick that clearance up. So we'll just pick it up through ground and go from there. Cruise altitude today is gonna be 21,000 feet all the way to Provo, and then the plan is I think we're gonna just do a VFR departure out of Provo to Alpine. And so again, for Provo here, zoom this in. I believe the active right now is 1-3. We're also going to be parking up here on the north side of the terminal at Duncan Aviation is where we're going to go to. And then from Duncan, we'll start the aircraft back up and take off again. So, yeah, that's the plan. Go to Provo, and then from Provo, we'll leave there and go back to Alpine, and that'll do it for our flight. So it's 1 o'clock my time now, so we should be back there probably around 3:30 sometime, and then later tonight, because I was really thinking of whether or not I wanted to do the flight. We'll try to do our flight from Dublin back to Charlotte tonight as well. So we'll see how that goes. Um, and that way we can get that flight done, and then we'll just have to worry about our last flight, which I'll do probably um, Sunday morning when I get off work. We'll do the flight from Charlotte back to DFW, and that'll end that schedule so we can get a new one started. But let's get this one underway. Again, we got our same two passengers. We got the kid in the back and one person in the front co-pilot seat there. And again, we're in November Alpha 50 Romeo Papa. Did I say Alpha? I mean November 850. Let me also get this open. And also, again, if you guys are on Say Intentions, I do use Skynet, so you guys are able to fly along with me or at least hear me or see me if you're anywhere in the area. Let's see. Yeah, we should be good. Like I said, we'll pick up our IFR clearance once we hop in the aircraft, get the airplane on, and go from there. The airplane is in good shape. We check, make sure everything's good, and going from there. Yeah, how's things going with you, Caleb? Hope all is well. Let's get in here. There's not much traffic going on here, and unfortunately, we don't have live ATC for Grand Canyon, unfortunately. Start the chocks in the back. All right, they're back there. That closed and locked. Make our way to the front of the cabin. Good, man. Good to hear. You been doing any flying? All right, got us closed in and good to go. Get crash bar off. We'll set that to auto. And starters off. We'll get nav light set. Did some landing and takeoffs to touch up all my Boeing aircraft. There you go. In the and all of the airplanes, like the 7.3 and the 777s, mostly just 777s. Let me check a couple things here. All right, we're feathered there. Let's get the fuel tank on. All right, selector is moving freely. Let's see. Get that set correctly. Make sure all avionics are off properly. Hats off. It's 82 degrees out. Jeez. Alright, everything here looks good so far. Avionics are all off. Radio master's off. Autopilot's off. Gear handle is down. Took out the 7.5. No kidding, man. The 7.5, man. Must be nice, man. Alright, let's get battery on. Alright, everything there is off as it should be. We'll set this to fuel. Everything there is off like it's supposed to be. We're good there. Alright, we're on the left. All annunciator lights are good as they should be. We'll set that boost pump to on. That's on manual. We'll leave it on manual. The pencil plane, right? Yo, that is pretty good, man. Hold on, let me get this screen off here, the PDF. Alright, don't need that on. Alright, up top everything looks good. Let's get her started. Nope, wrong one. Starter engaged. And we're looking for 12%, 13%. We go introduce fuel. Alright, there's 13 to low idle. Watch our ITT. Looks like it peaked out at about 956. Roll back, roll back. It is. Alright, we get starter off. Main on. Let's bring prop to max prop. And high idle. Auto. Alright, that works. Alright, engine instruments all look good and stable. Let's go radio masters on. Get these all up. On. That's not ready yet. Alright, that's good. Good. Let's get bleeds on, get it cooled down in here. Lights test there is good. Alright, that's golden. Vacuum pump looks good. Squared away there. Good there. That's all tested. Test. Lights good. Good. Get that one on. Set altitude. American flies one. Maybe we can see it. Actually, American doesn't have any more 757s. They used to. They don't have any now. So it is likely to never come up on my schedule, unfortunately. They used to fly the 75s, but they do not anymore. Let's leave that off for now. Let's test. Forgot to test the brakes. I mean the gear. Both of those are good. Okay. Storm clear. I don't know what that's for. I gotta read what that one is. This EFIS is on the left. That checks.
Sink rates. Sink rates. Don't sink. 500.
Let's go. Let me make sure the charts actually work this time. Yeah, when I exited out the sim yesterday after I did that flight, checked my charts, they went back into the sim, loaded back into the sim, the charts were fine. So I don't know why the charts were doing what they were doing. It's kind of strange. Let's test the standby. Main generator lights on. Back to main. Main generator light out. Good there. Alright, we got full flaps. Left up, right down, right up, left down. That checks. Let's go flaps all the way back up, and then we'll set them to take off flaps. Somebody in the area. Alright, we're squawking 1200. Let's see. Utilities. Just gonna check something here. We can go over the checklist after start check. Alright, driver instruments are all good and on. Suction's in the green. Slave is set. Radio master's on. Prop de-ice. We'll check the lights. We didn't check these lights. All lights illuminated. And all off on annunciator panel. Test bolt. Good. Lights back out. We're in a good spot. We can test the de-ice boots as well. Everything's in the green. Alright, we're going to set our cabin altitude to 21,000 feet. About right there. That's +5. That should be fine. Alright, temperature's coming down in the cabin as well. So that's good. Oh, you set that to auto, not high. My bad. Alright, let's test the autopilot though. Set heading mode. Heading up there. AP on. On left and right. That checks. We'll check and make sure our autopilot disconnect on the handle works. It does. And we'll turn it back on. I was disconnect from the yoke here. And and we'll test the autopilot circuit breaker. It works. Set the breaker back in. We'll let it reset, reconfigure it, and we'll turn it off. Let's see. We're 2 minutes past the time we're supposed to actually be taking off. We'll call and get our IFR clearance. That's all checks. Good. Windshield heat checked. Checked. Airframe de-ice. We'll check it momentarily. Let's get our frequencies up. $24,300. Yeah, it'd be nice if Americans still flew some 7.5s. Alright, autopilot's back on and good.
And formation Oscar. 1754 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 21. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 26. Dew point -11. Altimeter 3039er. Density altitude 9,000 feet. Advise on initial contact you have information Oscar. Grand Canyon
Oscar,
National Park Airport, information Oscar. 1754 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 21. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 26, dew point -11. Altimeter 3039er. Density altitude 9,000 feet. Advise on initial contact you have information Oscar. Grand Canyon National Park Airport, information Oscar. 1754 Zulu. Arriving and departing runway 21. Wind calm. Visibility 10.
Set. Alright,
Sky clear.
There.
Temperature 2.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. If you have it, definitely fly it. There's no 7.5 for this sim, but also for me, if again I can't get realistic routes, realistic configurations for American Airlines, it's hard for me to want to fly an airplane that they don't fly, unfortunately. But yeah, if it comes out, I may pick it up. Not quite sure. But yeah, when it comes to the airliners, if that company doesn't fly that airplane, then it's hard for me to want to get into that aircraft. Because if I get into the aircraft, then I have to learn the aircraft. I got to learn everything about it, how it works, how it flies, what's what. And honestly, I just, when you try to learn everything the way it should be, it makes it a little hard to want to just jump into every plane to fly it without just, flying it just to be flying it and not knowing anything about it as far as the systems and everything goes. Alright, so we already saw this chart here. Let's call ground and get our IFR clearance. Hello ground, TBM 850 Romeo Papa. Would like to get our IFR clearance to Provo, Utah.
Stand by, you're number 1.
He's not that loud.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Canyon Ground, cleared to Provo via the Park 4 departure. Then as filed, climb and maintain 10,000.
Can't hear this guy.
Expect flight level 210, 0 minutes after departure. Departure on 124.85, squawk 2774. Expect runway 21.
Alright, I got 2774. Yeah, I have to report that to them. That's not loud at all. Hold on, let me. Alright, we'll do that. Alright, clear to Provo via the Parks 4 departure. Then it's filed. Climb, maintain 10,000. Expect flight level 210, 10 minutes after departure. Departure is 2485. We'll squawk 2774. And expect runway 21, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Alright, so let's do this.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, read back over.
So you guys can see this. Yeah, that's not loud. Let me report that to them. Yeah, they say they want us to report everything if we have issues with it. ATC. Yeah, I'm just writing this up. Alright, let's get back to it. Just wanted to report that to say intentions. Alright, but let's bring this chart up for the departure. Parks for departure. Let's go full screen. It's not much of anything. Looks like we're just going straight to PGS. Peach Springs VOR. He gave us 10,000. I did hear that. Let's go 10,000. Arm it. Let's see. So we got to cross that at 10,000. That's 4,000 feet to get to there. At Gut Crew. Let's say MRA. Minimum route altitude 10,000 feet. So at or above 10,000. And we'll go from there, and then we'll get on heading, I guess, from there to continue. Alright, let's bring in our you know what, let's do the flight plan standard. Let's just put this in from this way. See if we can do it manually is what we'll try to do. Let's see, we're going to Provo, PV. That checks. Enter waypoint. Actually, let's grab you. Procedure. It's going to be departure, Parks 4. Runway 21. Transition, no transition. And runway 21, that checks load. Alright, we got that. 21 GCN 3 DME from GCN is what it's supposed to be. Let's see. Oh, why can't I see the info? We can get it over here. Actually, next one. Intersection VOR GCN is going to be 111.65. Let's do that. Swap those. Should show up here now. Let's get number 2 up for the VOR. There we go, VOR number 2. Let's see if we can actually even hear it. We can. Alright, that checks. Alright, that's on. Alright, we got the departure there. We don't have an arrival into PVU. But I believe that's pretty much it. PGS. No, it's, yeah. That's pretty much what it is. PGS. Oh, we got to do one other one at another waypoint. FFU. That should be a VOR. Fairfield. K2. Oh, yeah, it's VOR. I see it there. Alright, enter. Alright, then that's that. That's pretty much the route right there. So that's a manual input of the route. I'm going to save this. Just in case, again, the sim gets messed up for any reason. Let's delete this one. We don't need that one anymore. Alright, so we got our route saved in here. In case we need to activate it or re-upload it or so. Alright, so we got our route in place. We already got our clearance as well. Let's see. Shouldn't be nothing for us to climb 10,000 feet. Let's see. Flight director. Do it via speed. Oh, that doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. Ooh, wrong way. 10,000. We'll set it for like 2,000 feet a minute. Alright, we got that armed. That should come up once we start to climb up. We'll leave that like that though, and we'll arm head in mode as well. Actually, is it VNAV? I guess it is VNAV. We'll just arm it like that. Until, alright, we're good there. We've tested everything else. I think we got enough clock time now. The aircraft's been on. Let's go there. Let's test the we'll test everything from here because we're pretty close to the runway. Let's bring NG up to 81, or at least 80%, so we can test the de-ice boots, make sure they're good. Alright, let's test. Light on, the outboard is inflated. Light out, deflated, inboard, light on, and inflated. And lights out, deflated. Alright, those are good. Go ahead and test the prop too while we're here. Power back up. Test these main components. Prop gov test. Looks good. Let's set our. What are we doing in 850 mode? I forgot to get the inertia separator on. Probably sucking up all kind of crap here. Oh, there's no fog, so that's good. That's cool how I can tell whether there's fog around and that it's pulling it in or not. Alright, let's cycle the prop. ITT increases. Go back out. Inertia separator is on open. Cycle one more time. Alright, we're good there. And engine idle. That's all on. Good up top. Top is good. We get post lights on. Taxi light going on. It's good. Oxygen on. Oxygen levels are good as well. Alright, let's go. Let's go my brakes. Let's get out of here. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta get the it's gonna be a from indicator. 0, 2, 1. I should have went the other way. Step to that. Got 2485. next frequency. So we'll get up here to the dash lines here. That's still a part of the ramp. Can't cross that line until we're talking to ground. And you see our bar comes back up when we introduce power. Alright, so we'll stop here. Let's contact ground again for our taxi out. Hello ground, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, ready to taxi to runway 21.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, runway 21 taxi via Alpha Alpha 1.
Alright, runway 21 via Alpha Alpha 1, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. And we'll test right brake, left brake, good. Inclinometer's opposite the turn, and the turn coordinator is turning with the turn. We're good there. We got 0, 3. 3 is lining up with the HSI this time now. That's good. We're looking golden. I'm gonna give radar on. We don't really need the radar because it's weather's perfect. Alright, so we're leaving the Grand Canyon, headed to Provo, and then headed to Alpine. Did see somebody land here earlier, one of the Twin Otters, I think that does their stuff out of here, landed here earlier. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so again, we're topped off on the fuel and topped off on the oxygen, so we're good there. I wonder how much do they charge for oxygen? I'd have to look it up to see. Let's set this lower. We'll set this to like 15. And supposedly there's a hotspot right here with these two sections here. The way it is, people taxi out thinking they're supposed to be in one direction and end up taxiing to the wrong one. So we'll go here on Alpha. That's what he's saying is even though it still merges back right there with Bravo, we'll go ahead and taxi up. Make a turn here. We'll hold short here. Switch over to tower. Alright, we're at Alpha 1 is what I would assume this to be. And we got 2485 for departure. Alright, we're squawking altitude. We got 2774 set. We're already run up complete. We get strobe lights on. Thing up top is good. We're on auto. We'll go ahead and switch to tanks there. That's on auto. Everything here is set. Trim is set. Actually, let's trim up a little bit more. We'll go right to the 12. We got takeoff set for flaps. Inertia separator's on. Again, it's 80 degrees. Once we get to 10,000, we'll get all of our de-ice equipment on, and that's needed. Alright, let's see. Hello tower, TBM 850 Romeo Papa is holding short runway 21, ready for departure.
TBM 850 Romeo
She's
Papa,
loud.
Canyon Tower, runway 21, winds 360 at 3. RNAV Goo Crew, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, copy the winds, RNAV Goo Crew, clear for takeoff, runway 21, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Yeah, that was kind of loud. Alright, then yeah, I guess we can't set nav. That's already what it is. It's our first waypoint. Yep. Alright, let's go, guys. Lights are already on and ready to go. Oh, I didn't test the horn earlier. Alright, it's fine. Hey, is somebody on final out here? I feel like somebody's on final. I'm looking at here on this on the map. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll be able to get out of here before then. Before they land, let's go. Alright, again, 2-1 identified at the hold short and on the pavement. Approaching looks clear from what we see. Runway is clear, departure is clear. And we should be in the air less than halfway down the runway. Let's go to 100%. On the torque. Alright, 100 engine instruments all look stable and good to go. Brakes off. Yeah, we get in the air before that guy lands behind us there. Airspeed's alive. There's our flight director coming back into view. So get them off the ground there. We'll tap the brakes. Got a positive rate of climb there. Let's go gear up. Taxi light off. Keep that nose coming up. Alright, transition light off. Let's go yaw dampener on. takeoff flaps. Retract.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, contact departure.
Over to departure, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, good day. Hello, departure TBM 0 Romeo Papa is passing 7.8, climbing 10,000, RNAV to Golf Charlie November 3. Kind of swung outside of it there.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Los Angeles Center, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000.
Climb and maintain 10,000, 0 Romeo Papa. So I got a lot further than I would like. Let's put us in 850 mode. We can turn inertia separator off. We're gonna get more power, but let's put it in 850 mode first before it fully closes. We're gonna get that extra boost anyway.
Romeo Papa, climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Let's get on track here. Turn autopilot on. Climb going, for your speed.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, direct BCE, then it's files, please.
And go nav. And direct BCE TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Down so we get a little bit more speed there, give it more power. Get to that 120 there. There we go. So we can really get some climb power there. It's 12 degrees. We'll go ahead and get these on. So far, engine instruments all still look stable, and we'll start to get a cabin climb here. We already got differential pressure at 3.0. At 10,000 there, but you're already well above it. We're good. 13.5. And let's go about 170 on the speed. Alright, through 15,000, we're looking good. Watch our torque. Keep it at 120 if we can there. There we go. Slight over torque, back it off some there, there we go. Yeah, so we're going all the way southwest, which honestly we could probably go. We probably ask direct to
November 1 Charlie Golf
instead of going that far down.
132.05.
That's 51 miles to the next waypoint. Let's get up to cruise and then we'll ask for direct. That way we don't have to go all the way to PGS. Shortcut that go straight to FFU. Let's see.
United 611, send via the Cocktail 4 Rebel, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas, up to 3012.
Alright, through 17.3. Engine instruments, everything still looks good. Alright, it's 18, we'll go standard. Get lights off too. Right tank already, we're not. Let's go ahead and shift that to the right. -10 in the outside, we got 71 in the cabin, looking good.
Southwest 319, climate 320.
Los Angeles Center, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. I would like to get direct to Fairfield Vortac.
Direct BCE approved.
Los Angeles Center, that's the incorrect VOR. We're looking to get direct to Foxtrot uniform. I even said it up there. It shows on there, but he's not giving it. Let me see if they pick it up. Los Angeles Center, did you copy? Another bug report.
November 712 Tango, contact Lily Center on 134.65, good day.
134.65.
Alright, just wanted to get that reported. LA Center, did you copy? Alright, we're at 21.
Zero Romeo Papa. Direct BCE approved.
Negative, we did not ask for BCE. We asked direct to Foxtrot, Foxtrot uniform. And Los Angeles Center, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, we're going to go direct to Foxtrot, Foxtrot uniform. Alright, we're already at flight level 210, everything else looks good.
American 36 for listen under. Voice jet 1056, contact Las Vegas approach 125.02, good day. 2502, good day, West Jet 1056.
Alright, negative 15 outside.
Southwest 943, 5214, climbing flight level 190. Southwest 943, LA Center, roger, climb maintain, foot level 380. Climb down 380, Southwest 943.
Doing 272, winds are pretty much right on our nose here. Yeah, clear day out today. Good day for flying.
LA Southwest 943. Go ahead. A little heavy for 38. How about 360? Southwest 943, roger. Maintain flight level 360. Maintain flight level 360, Southwest 943.
Let's get that bank turn going. Get on track.
Southwest 1415, descend via the cocktail for arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas, altimeter 3012.
I'm burning 66.7. It's not bad. retracted, power check set, cabin altitude is good, climb rate is set. Differential, we're good on the pressurization. Tips good. Good there, de-ice, good. Inertia separator is closed. Altimeter, we got 29902. Good, annunciator lights are all out as well. De-ice we don't need other than what we have turned on already. We don't need prop de-ice. Again, this is very clear data. That's why the altimeter settings are so high. We got high pressure system around the area. Alright, cruise power level set. Alright, we're burning evenly now. Cabin pressure. Let's see, what are we on the right tank? Separator's closed. Ignition's on auto. Alright, that checklist is complete. We're doing 306 across the ground. A slight headwind of this crosswind coming from our left to right.
319, Southwest 320 will be your final today. 320 will be our final, Southwest 319.
Alright, we're looking good. We're at cruise now, 210. Let's get Provo information up though.
Southwest 4324,
let's see, charts.
November 15,000 Bravo, listen under.
Alright, so this is what the weather looks like in Provo. Again, 30-31, still a nice high pressure. Winds 260 at 5. I don't know if they're going to flip the airport or not. 10 statute miles, 17. 2.1 sky clear. Mark 6 hour maximum. Temperature 3 hour. That's the 5.
CNB, Delta, Alpha, November, Bravo, Yankee, direct Lake Havasu.
Marks. True temp 16.7, 1.1. That's 6 hour minimum. Yeah, 6 hour minimum. Temp is 17.2. Maximum temp should be. The 2 is minimum 6.7.
Contact Oakland Center on 132.05 today. 3205.
Oh yeah, maximum and then minimum. Yeah, that's right. Then 5 is the 3 hour pressure tendency, and it's hundreds of so 0.5, which is what we see here, 0.5. P&O, I don't know what P&O means.
Cocktail 4 Rebel, runway 1 left transition, Mount South 3011.
Let's see, ASOS requires maintenance. I know that. Precipitation amount not available. Oh, the P and then NO. Okay, I haven't seen that one in a while. Makes sense. Hey, this will be 3517. That's still in 2. I started flip the front by now. 3517. Let's go 3517.
Alaska 738, listen under.
Monitor. Guys, we're in cruise. Flight over 210, just hanging out. Flight looks good. Doing good so far. No troubles. 97. It looks like the oxygen doesn't actually start to release unless you have the unless we got the mask on, which isn't right. Still be releasing oxygen to the passengers in the back. It says they're fine though. We got 97 post oximeter. Can actually deploy the cabin mask.
Alaska 738% via the Cocktail 4 arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas altimeter 3011.
So yeah, we're not going to get any gas or anything in Provo. We're just stopping in to check out the airport. Haven't gotten to fly there before, so that's what we're doing. And we'll continue on the Alpine is the plan. Outside air temp is 4. Cabin's nice and cool. Pretty much perfect. On the battery and on the main generator. There's green there.
Skywest 6457, noise and odor. Spare wing 1635, noise and odor. Spare wing 1635, roger. Actually, maintain 290 knots or greater.
So, Caleb, if you're still here, how was it flying the
American 3064.
75? Would you fly to just around one location or so?
05, American 3064. November 5000 Bravo, descend maintain federal 230. Alaska 629, noise and odor, climb maintain, photo with 360. Down to 360, 629.
I don't understand why the VOR is picking up on GPS instead of nav, since we do have the VOR set up there. It's kind of strange.
Alaska 757, noise and odor, do not exceed 270 knots.
Alright, that show a cut off to them. Alright. Let's get that pack on for those folks. I want them to pass out back there. And LA Center, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Just checking, do we have any traffic in the area? Just to kind of see what they say.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, no traffic in your vicinity.
Link 1635, descend via the cocktail for arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas, altimeter 3011. And Fairway 1635, maintain 300 knots or greater than published speeds at cocktail. Published speeds at Hawking Tail for 6035.
I'm going to check something here for our flight to,
Los Angeles,
see if our flight going to Alpine
November
from Provo.
316,
I don't know if we can
Roger,
actually
Las
do
Vegas,
a,
altimeter 3011.
let's see, 46. We'll be able to actually do a VFR flight out of there. Should be able to.
Skywest 6457, can you accept floatable 3 sir?
Sorry, say that again, Scout 6457?
Scout 6457, can you accept floatable 3 sir?
No, still as high as 370, Scout 6457.
Scout 6457, Roger, just maintain floatable 360, thank you. Alaska 629, are you able to floatable 3 sir?
It says it's going to be,
Let's check.
let's see.
Alaska 629, Roger, men down 6 by maintain floatable 340, you can expect higher with Oakland Center.
Let me do something different.
340, Alaska 629.
It's actually still about an hour from Provo to
Link 1635.
there, so I may just do a IFR flight.
Alright, let's start now.
We'll file that one
1635.
later. That's what I think we'll do. Yeah, we'll file it and we'll pick it up after we get on the ground in Provo.
Alaska 629, expect your climb through floatable 240. Expedite through 2411, 629.
So what altitude is given 27? No, we're not doing that. Probably do 21 again.
Exit jet 930, Alexander, Roger, when you transition, maintain 200 knots or greater. In Alaska 757, reduce speed to 250.
Okay, we'll pull it back. 250.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Center, Racket 810, flight level 3.
Charlie Center Under.
CBM 0 Romeo Papa. Contact Los Angeles Center on 124.2.
All right, over to 24.2 TBM 05, correction, 0 Romeo Papa. Oops. Hello, LA Center, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, flight level 210.
CBM 850 Romeo Papa, Los Angeles Center. Good afternoon.
Let me see something. According to, let's see, BCE. I guess it was on the flight plan. Hold on, let me see something here. I didn't think that it was. Getting a little bumpy here. BCE is not on a departure. I don't know where that BCE came from.
Alaska 737, send via the Cocktail 4 arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas Altimeter 3011.
Okay, Killer descend the cocktail for the 1 west transition. Thanks for that. We'll have 757.
Exit 930, descend via the Cocktail 4 arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas Altimeter 3011. I'm sorry about that. Exit at 930, descend to maintain level 210. Exit at 930, can we go normal speed? Frontier 4150, LA Center, at resume normal speed.
CBM 0 Romeo Papa. Contact Salt Lake Center on 133.6.
Oh, we gotta go back. All right, over to Salt Lake Center on 33.6, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Frontier 4158, descend via the Cocktail 4 arrival, runway 1 left transition, Las Vegas Altimeter 3011.
Hello, Salt Lake Center, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, flight level 210.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Salt Lake Center, good afternoon.
Southwest 1691, 12.5 for 15,000. Do you copy?
Roger, contact Salt Lake Center 128.55.
2855 per day.
Center maintain 16,000, the Heber City altimeter 3032.
Winds are off our left. May get some updrafts here flying over the top of this mountain here.
2556.
May get some updrafts here flying over the top of here.
2855, LJ 699, good day.
Winds are coming off the left. It'll be going up the slopes of the mountain there.
That's 4897,
Pushing up
traffic
into
at
the air.
3 o'clock, 10 miles southeast on Airbus, south to south.
Stampede 200, flight level 410.
Stampede 200, flight center, roger. 1163, contact, flight center 128.55. At 1163, contact flight center 128.55.
2855.
You know what I'm now wondering, because we did manually type in our flight plan. Let me make sure BCE wasn't in the flight plan and I missed it. Dang it, it was. That was my mess up. Yeah, BCE was in my original flight plan. I don't know how I missed it and forgot to type it in. But yeah, that was my mistake.
Final 360 available. Push it 1087. It will be in just a minute. I have your bus. Thank you. Salt Lake Center, push it 7745.
Yeah, so that was my mistake. We did have BCE on the flight plan. I just did not type it in correctly. So he gave us direct BCE. He gave it to us actually pretty early, so we wouldn't have had to go to PGS. And I didn't put it in the flight plan. I should have downloaded it maybe, and or at least verified. I think I verified it via ForeFlight instead of actually looking at the flight plan release. So 138 from Fairfield. Let's see if it's picking up yet. It is not. It shows it there. It's not giving us a read on it. They're not swapping. 1660. Why is that one not bringing it up? Number 2.
Stampede 200, traffic 12 o'clock, 5 miles northbound, citation, SL 432.
Just
Traffic above us there. United 619 going from San Francisco to Houston Intercontinental. That's who that is up there.
Maintain 17,000, 2809, 730. Call spare 17,200 getting off Skywest 3504.
So we know it's not lots of moisture down there, because if it was, the The winds going up the side of the mountains there will start to create clouds here over the mountaintops as they push up into the atmosphere. So that's good, but that would also give us an indication of where the updrafts are. If we're seeing clouds, especially lenticular clouds, above this area. That's where we definitely want to deviate. If they release that, if they pushed up to our altitude, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe the winds can push upwards of 5,000 feet, if I'm not mistaken, above the mountainous terrain. Probably higher than that. I feel like it might be higher than that.
Back 274 Alpha Hotel, Salt Lake Center, good afternoon.
Pitch 795, just to maintain 1,000. Number 29 Golf Sierra and Charlie Golf, Kilo Lima Alpha, trust Public Block 30 miles southbound, 55 Papa 400 northbound, citation 410.
Altimeter 3028. Density altitude 5500 feet. Pavement parking work in progress. Expect minor delays near the terminal area. Advise on initial contact you have information Yankee. Provo International Airport. Information Yankee. 18562 loop. Arriving and departing runways 13, 18.
Alright, we're planning for runway 13 or 18, one of those two.
Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 18. Dew point 0. Altimeter 3028. Density altitude 5500 feet. Pavement marking work in progress.
What was the information?
Sky clear. Temperature 18. Dew point 0. Altimeter 3028. Density altitude 5500 feet. Pavement marking work in progress. Expect minor delays near terminal area. Advise on initial contact you have information Yankee.
Yankee.
Provo International Airport.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting a little bounced around over this mountainous area here. Not too terrible though, but we are.
Contact Salt Lake Center, 1028.35, good day. 2035.
Wait. Central Legion 699, 350 smooth.
699, Salt Lake Center. Cleared on MPDS off approach, Hebrew City Airport.
All my Salt Lake City landing traffic approach just called me and said all of you can expect runway 34 left.
Yeah, but the one time I didn't just upload the flight plan is when I messed it up.
09er contact Salt Lake Center 128.55. Have a good day. 26 traffic Garrison. 09. Delta 935, right, thank you. Solid Center, Cat 3765, flight level 20. Skywest 3765, good afternoon, spectrum runway 34 left.
I think what we're going to do too, we're going to request a long landing as well. Just let me see, we should have
Coyote 220, contact Flight Center 124.35.
Landing north, expect runway 35 after helper clears the jazz.
I said it earlier, Caleb, you must have left out of here. And like I said yesterday, I may try to do it tonight if I can. Very possible we'll try to do it tonight. Oh, wrong thing.
Contact Delta Center 126.72.
Hopefully. We got 8,600 for the runway, 6,200 on that one. Alright, so yeah, we'll be parking up here at the Duncan Aviation. But we're going to try to do a long landing so we can at least get a view of the airport and taxi back up so we can see it. But yeah, hopefully tonight we'll try to get that flight in. So we can land in the morning back in Charlotte. Okay, got you. No worries. My bad. Yeah, we'll try to do that flight tonight. I want to take, because it should be like a 7.5-hour flight. So I want to take off from Dublin probably around maybe 1 or 2 my time. Maybe even midnight, because I forget we're landing on the West Coast. I mean the East Coast. So it'll be daytime by the time we arrive in Charlotte. If we left at maybe 1 a.m., maybe even midnight. So probably midnight. If we do it, it'll probably be a midnight departure. We'll arrive back in Charlotte at like 7 or 8 in the morning, I think is what it'll be. So yeah, I'll get everything set up. I'll get the thumbnail and all of that set up, so that way you'll see it. If you don't see that thumbnail up for the flight by 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, then I probably won't do the flight. But I want to do the flight because then I can get the flight, the Charlotte to DFW flight done, going back when I get off work that next morning. So yeah, that'll be the plan. Yeah, exactly. I'll check the weather and everything. I don't think there's any weather going on in Charlotte or over the next 24 hours, I don't believe. But I'll double check that if the weather's not cooperating for tomorrow morning, then we'll go from there. Let's see what the weather looks like in Charlotte right now. Let's see.
Citation 0 Tango Whiskey, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77. Have a good day.
Correction 211, Guston 2010, statute broken 25. Well, weather looks good. Weather's good in Charlotte right now, at least.
Good afternoon. 24.9 today.
At 25 to now, flight to the altitude 3026.
Back 4 Alpha Hotel, contact Salt Lake approach 124.9, or have a good day. 124.9 or 4 Alpha Hotel.
Salt Lake, Legion 1597, 11-7 for 1-4 stop. Legion 1597, Salt Lake, Roger, Tommy Team Public 330.
And that flight, Dublin flight coming back will be, may get some rain, but that's about it. Okay, gotcha. Let's see what the weather looks like in Dublin right now. Let's see.
I'll have a load for you in about, thanks.
Oh, yeah, DW. I think that's right. Let's see what that looks like.
Level 190, 280 knots.
Alright, weather looks good there for you. 1800, broken 24. No significant weather. Alright, weather looks good in Dublin. Hopefully it'll be good out there when we get ready to do the flight. So yeah, I'll get that all set up. I'll try to get it all set up after this flight, so I'll be ahead of it. I'll probably go to sleep, so I'll have some energy for in the morning, or for the whole flight, so we can fly the whole flight. It's what, 2:34 right now my time. So yeah, I can get probably like 5 hours sleep and then wake up and do that flight.
Salt Lake Advisory, copy. About 52 for Salt Lake City Airport, direct Mike, Tango, uniform for the Jazz 1, arrival, maintain 1234.
Gotcha.
The 456 Heavy, Salt Lake Advisory. I'm at your altitude, plan to maintain level 330 for now.
Level 330, Skyster 320.
Nice. Hey, sounds good. Sounds good. How's Amtrak been? Same old for you? Everybody's good over there?
0, Sierra Juliet, send to maintain level 280.
And then 2B0, 0, Sierra Juliet.
12, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77 state.
I was Provo altitude.
Was that 135.7?
3577.
4497. Above that. We actually can leave it exactly where it's at. 44B49.
23 Salt Lake Advisory. Air 368 Salt Lake Advisory. I do have some new readings Salt Lake Advisory, copy.
Plus 500. We'll leave it exactly where it's at.
368 for the Salt Lake City Airport, be direct Mike, Tango, uniform for the Jazz 1 arrival, so maintain level 340.
Going good. We got a new conductor. He was the new dispatcher. I have track ones with his initials on it. Oh, nice. What's NECR? What does that mean?
Sorry, coming in a little bit from
Or was that supposed to be new dispatch?
Contact Salt Lake Center 127.902.
127.902.
That's pretty cool though, man.
Center Jetlinks 212, level 410.
Jetlinks 212, Salt Lake Center, Roger.
Salt Lake Center, Sprint 609, 4.
Sprint 609, Salt Lake Center, Roger.
Oh, yeah, let's plan for the ILS. Let's do that as well. Approach. ILS 13. Let's see if we can get the RNAV.
765, contact Salt Lake Approach 124.9er, good day.
That'll be an easier
49ers
approach.
go with 3765, good day.
That's what.
If they're saying ILS, let's
Contact Salt
run
Lake
it.
Center 128.35, good day. 35,
Oh, New England Central Railroad. Okay, gotcha.
330.
Yeah, I would have not have guessed that that's what that was.
Salt Lake Center, Bird.
Glad you said it.
Whiskey Alpha, flight level 2.
56 Whiskey Alpha, thanks for landing north side Salt Lake.
I got that on standby.
Right.
Approach course would be 134. Minimums are 259, it says. And DH. At 260.
Yeah, 336, thank you.
Up.
For lower?
Rhino 1.
Rhino 1, send to maintain
We'll
level
be-
330.
We're going to FFU now.
Zero Romeo Papa, when you're ready, descend and maintain 17,000 feet, altimeter 3028.
Alright, descend and maintain 17,000 feet, altimeter 3028, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Romeo Papa, descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
All right, descend and maintain 10,000 feet. 0 Romeo Papa.
4253, cross runway 14,000 and 250 knots, flight to the 3026.
Turn half banks off at least. Yeah, so if we go to FFU, they may give us some headings. So we're going right there unless we go from FFU straight over to the to Zigor and then turn in
Romeo
properly.
Papa, descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Delta 2680, Salt Lake Center.
I feel like descend and maintain 9,000. Descend and maintain 9,000 feet TBM. 0 Romeo Papa. I'll set it to 100 here. There we go. 9,000 feet set.
0.7. 277,
Says who owns the tracks from Brattleboro ET to St. Alpine ET. Oh, that's from what? Some towards Canada. Oh, wow.
American 61, Salt Lake Center.
6,300. We're going to definitely be visual on this approach, but just to go through, make sure we're good. What is the lowest altitude? MSA is 13.2. We're not descending that far down. We'll go 13. That's minimum safe.
Thank you. Copy, T5, 290, unit 497.
Back to like 90.
This is 27 pushing.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, the extended downwind is to give you room to descend. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Maintain present heading vectors for the ILS runway 13 approach, altimeter 3028.
All right, we'll descend and maintain 8,000 feet and maintain present heading. Vectors for the ILS 13. TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
I just said that. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet, Romeo 0 Romeo Papa.
Left flight heading 070. One Delta Romeo flight heading 070.
070, one number.
We're going directly here. That ain't gonna work. We're going right into that mountain right there.
Good day. One contact Salt Lake Center 128.35.
It should be that mountain range right there. I think PPU should be over here.
3026.
90 Sierra Juliet, can you confirm our descent altitude? Was it 28 or 24?
90 Sierra Juliet, level 280.
Thank you.
Salt Lake, Innsco West 3880 and 310.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, contact Salt Lake approach on 118.85.
Over to Salt Lake approach on 1885, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
3027.
3027, 13,000, 1 Eldorado.
West of Ogden, would like to request.
Hello, Salt Lake approach, TBM 850 Romeo Papa is descending out of flight level 180 down to 8,000.
3718 cleared.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Salt Lake approach. Good afternoon.
All right, 3028.
Point 0. Altimeter 3028. Density altitude 5500 feet. Pavement marking work in progress. Expect minor delays near the terminal area. Advise on initial contact you have information Yankee. Provo International
just said it.
Airport,
One Juliet
That's
Victor,
taking
descend and
information
maintain
Yankee.
900,000.
1856 Zulu.
9,000 Juliet.
Arriving and
And approach TBM 0 Romeo Papa. We have ATIS information Yankee for Provo.
765.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, roger, information Yankee noted.
Alright, if we're on heading, let's activate the approach gear.
2680, turn right direct to low fog, leaving 1000 as your north speed. Departure United 497, 6200, rugged drift to 9000. United 497, departure to contact, contact flight level 230, maintain 2509.
Yeah,
230, knots, United.
let's just set vectors. They already said they was going to give us vectors. Load and activate.
We're American, then follow the
We're on headed mode anyway. Let's flip these two. Alright, we got localizer on 1.
November 1 Juliet Victor, turn
And
left
that's
heading
supposed to be 134 if I'm not mistaken, on course.
150.
Again, we don't need it, but we'll get it all set up just in case.
Airport 98 Golf Foxtrot, select approach, flight heading 040, expect a visual approach runway 35. 040, and we'll expect a visual approach.
Salt Lake City airport's up there.
145, solid departure to contact, maintain flight level 230. Flight level 230, Delta 2445. Delta 2680, contact Salt Lake Center, 119.95. 1995, take care, Delta 2680. November 8, Golf Foxtrot, your steps are not there into the transmission. I know you said you had to get the field until you'll cancel your park. Did you say anything after that? 564. 1010,000. Channel 10,000, 498 Golf Foxtrot.
Frontier Flight 3871, turn left direct scan.
That's our direct scan, Frontier Flight 3871.
November 1 Juliet Victor, descend maintain 7000 Salt Lake Airport, north end 12 miles.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, turn left heading 345.
Left turn to 345 TBM 0 Romeo Papa. 5 set. Alright, good. He's keeping us clear of the mountain there. So that's good.
Heavy out of 200 for 1900.
What's wrong thing? Forgot I gotta do this.
Salt Lake Center, 119.95. One 2 thanks.
Alright, he sees the mountain is there, so he kept us clear of it. I like that.
Another
Let's turn our inertial separator on now.
The localizer to wheel and maintain 180 knots to Kern.
Okay, local to wheel, 180 to Kern.
Airsprint 567, Salt Lake Airport, north and 25 miles.
Said Provo should be right there. Yeah, that should be Provo right over there.
567, maintain 210 knots or less, and descend and maintain 10,000, 10,000.
Alright, inertial separator is
10,000 versus 567. One 8 Quebec, Salt Lake approach, squawk 0307.
Contact, resume normal speed. You got stepped on. Say altitude.
Yeah, we're climbing through 6,400 for 9,000, heading to 265, west, 4321.
Clear 1 Juliet Victor, contact tower.
To the tower, Juliet Victor.
Salt Lake, 471, 170, Tango.
I have to say current altitude. 025, 6100, November 118, Quebec. November 1118, Quebec, thank you. You are cleared through Salt Lake Provo airspace via the I-80 transition. Maintain 6,500 while in Bravo airspace.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, descend and maintain 7,000 feet. Turn right, heading 010.
Descend and maintain 7,000, right turn to heading 010, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
1,034 left, 21.
Ticket 410, I misspoke. Expect 34 right, the left, actually stay mile runway.
Out of 10,000. Oh, nice. I like it. Took us around the mountain area here.
4321,
Make sure we didn't descend right into it. Getting us on our course.
4321, turn left direct.
Alright, this is pretty good. Pretty good vectoring. They said they were updating the system to produce better vectoring. And I would say this is actually pretty good looking.
For runway 3 dogs, I won't be able to hear you for
Took
about
us around where the
miles,
peak is there before descending us even further down. Good stuff.
Salt Lake approach, good afternoon, 498 Golf Foxtrot descending to 8,000, 030 on the heading with November. Speed to 180.
Turn terrain inhibitor off. Alright, coming up on 7,000.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, 6 miles from Zigur. Turn right, heading 045, descend and maintain 6800 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 13 approach.
Alright, right turn to 045. Descend and maintain 6,800 feet until established and clear for the ILS 13 approach. TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
3,000, 13,000.
Let's go for approach flap speed checks. Let's go gear down. Gear it up here.
2,000, 12,000.
I see the runway out there.
Scout 4321, maintain 280 knots or greater for intro, please. 280 knots or greater, we're 290 knots, Scout 4321. Perfect. Roger, flight 3871, Salt Lake Center 133.9, good day. 33.9,
340.
Maintain at least 120.
Maintain at 240 speed. Maintain flight level 230.
I maintain 230.
I got 3 green on the gear.
And would you like us to stay on this heading?
Good at 137, affirmative. I'll return here shortly.
And localizer should be starting to come in here.
Go with 3765, 11.5 for 11, 210. Go 3765, Salt Lake approach, hello, cross, zero up, that's 11000, clear down at Zulu, runway 34 left approach. Cross zero up, 11000, clear down at Zulu, 34 left, go 3765.
Ground scenery does not look all that great here. Alright, we're intercepting the
TBM 0
localizer.
Romeo Papa, contact Provo Tower on 125.3 at Zigur.
Alright, we'll contact Provo Tower on 25.3 at Zigur. TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Maintain 1-1, actually should maintain 1-2,000, not 12,000.
1,200, negative 121.
Jet 471, you can also
We kind of overshot the approach.
runway 35 now.
35.
All's good still.
Southwest 3377, climb maintain flight level 230 and resume normal speed. Maintain level 230, resume normal speed.
Just crosses here.
Jet 3430.
We did.
One turn right, heading 120 and reduce speed to 210.
Right, 120.
And let's disconnect the autopilot. I have the aircraft was still left, of course.
Approach Delta 221, hip.
Good afternoon, Provo Tower, TBM 0, corrections, 850 Romeo Papa's on the ILS for runway 13.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, Provo Tower, roger, continue approach.
All right, continue the approach, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Watch our power. It overshot it and just stayed outside. It's kind of strange. Our wind's kind of a slight tailwind. Speed checks, let's go landing flaps. At Tower, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, we're going to be parking at Duncan Aviation once we land. A lot of times they'll ask you that. All right, y'all dampener away.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, roger, Duncan Aviation noted.
And Tower, TBM 0 Romeo Papa would like to request a long landing.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, long landing approved.
All right, long landing approved, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Somebody on the runway out there. There's going to be a little bit of a taxi coming back, but all's good. All right, flaps are full. We got the localizer. We cleared the land. Hold on, did he just clear the land? And Tower, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, did we get clearance to land?
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, cleared for the ILS runway 13 approach.
And can we get cleared to land runway 13, TBM 0 Romeo Papa? Oh crap, hold on. I never switched. Crap. Provo Tower, TBM 0 Romeo Papa is short final runway 13. I thought I switched. I did not.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Provo Tower, winds 280 at 5, runway 13, cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 13, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. And Tower, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, request long landing.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, winds 280 at 5, runway 13, cleared for option.
All right, cleared the option, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. I thought I was already on tower. It'd be nice if they would have actually given us, would have said something and actually said, hey, you're still on approach. But I just realized I was still on approach frequency. Whoa. I think it was going to pick the nose up that much. so we can actually see the area around us. Yes, yeah, they gave us. I heard them switched it when we were on short final.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, exited Alpha 4 Fable. Contact ground on 119.4.
And TBM 0 Romeo Papa, we exited at the end at Alpha 5, and we'll contact ground on 19.4. TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Oh, that is beautiful right there, though. The airplane's there. Somebody asked about that in the forum, too, if they could do that. Looks like they came through with it. Let's see. Let's delete the flight plan. Hello, ground, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, clear runway 13 at Alpha 5, going to Duncan Aviation.
Can I amend to a full stop on this one?
36 inner left base, runway 13.
Inner left.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Provo ground, taxi to Duncan Aviation via Alpha, hold short of runway 18. Good day.
All right, to Duncan Aviation via Alpha, we'll hold short of runway 18, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Archer, Mike Echo, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. 1 Mike Echo, see you.
See ya.
All right, we got differential pressure zeroed out. Good there.
Archer 76 Juliet, inner left downwind, runway
Off.
Inner left downwind, runway 13.
Flaps up. Trim is good. Yeah, we got a Legion out here, Breeze Airways. That terminal actually looks pretty cool. We'll go look at it once we get over there. Why does my... Hold on, let me check some stuff. My settings look weird. Let me see something. Terrain, all that still looks good.
74781, Provo
Okay.
Towers. Flight to the
Yeah, the terrain and stuff just looks strange.
Right downwind, runway 13.
Maybe not. We got PSA over there, looks like. Oh, no, that's not PSA. PSA doesn't fly on the west. Pretty central and stays this way. American, yeah, it's should be Sky West is who that should be over there. Man, this looks nice.
404, Provo Tower, runway 13, clear for takeoff, make left traffic.
Clear for takeoff 13, make left traffic, clear check 404.
136, traffic departing runway 13, runway 13, clear to left.
Some other traffic on final out here, looks like.
13, clear to land 13, 136.
We got a little bit of a taxi to go.
Frequency change approved, 27 November Hotel. Thank you.
139, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, 139.
Archer 76 Juliet, Diamond Star, 1.5 mile final, report site.
Oops. We get back on course here. Head off. And our separator stays on. We'll leave window heats on. It's 18 out here. It's not too terrible. But the scenery actually looks very good. What in the world is Air Force? Is that Air Force 2 doing out here? The helicopter, that's pretty nice. Don't know that they'd actually be parked over there though. But it looks pretty cool. Oh, it's raining over there?
Track 204, runway 18, left away, landing traffic, runway 13.
Runway 18, line up 3 for track 204.
Ah, crap, I keep picking the wrong thing. Oh, Marine One. Gotcha.
Okay, we'll hit the right downwind for runway 13, is that correct? 3071.
3071, I'm sorry, that's the second time I've done that. Runway 13.
Alright, we'll line up, we'll enter a right downwind runway 13, 3071.
136, turn left Alpha 3, contact ground.
Turn left Alpha 3, contact ground 436.
And this is the, I think, Utah University aviation building there.
Left traffic, runway 13, runway 18, clear for takeoff, clear track 204.
Hunter 76 Julia, traffic departing runway 18.
And we're taxiing all the way up here.
Track 468, contact departure 118.85.
Contact departure 118.85, clear track 468.
Yeah, we're going all the way down here to the end.
2781, traffic off.
But we'll be closer to the takeoff runway though when we leave here.
Track 404, runway 13, clear land.
But this scenery is by is made by what's his name? Vertical Sim.
Traffic 1 o'clock, 2 miles, 5,000.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, cross runway 18.
All right, cross runway 18 on Alpha, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Was that last translation for 2781?
Track, that was for clear track 204, 2781. You should be passing over top that traffic now.
I think this, yeah, Signature Aviation right there.
Track 204, I'm in instructions, another right
Quite
down
the site
runway
there.
13.
Entering right down on
Looks
13.
good. All right, we're
Right on
crossing.
13, had to
Let's
dip
get
down to
lights.
avoid your collision there.
I forgot to turn off strobe lights. Turned off post lights before turning off strobes. All right, clear left and right. Got a few airplanes on the ground. Have you flown in here before, Caleb?
Cessna traffic, 1 mile final report in sight.
Look for that traffic, 2781. Pro Tower 3686 Juliet, you want me going left traffic?
Hunter 76 Julia, make left traffic.
Left traffic, 7 South traffic, time 2781.
2781, number 2, runway 13, clear to land.
Clear to land.
Whoa!
Runway 13, 781.
How this guy ended up getting through us? Let me turn this off. See if it's actually going to update. I forgot to turn on user ground collision avoidance.
Track 204, traffic falls in the air, 12 o'clock, approaching our right base, table inside.
We got that traffic, Skyline Song, come in, clear track 204.
Track 204, roger, follow wicket number 2, runway 13, clear to land.
Number 2,
Oh, who's that fella sitting out there? Yeah, you saw that? Thanks, American. Yeah, that's SkyWest flight 63, 5311? 6311.
Tower, clear track 404, going around. Clear track 404, roger.
And like I said, we got a little distance of taxi in here to go. Like I said, it's a long taxi back. I just wanted to really see the airport. But also, like I said, when we leave here to head to Alpine, it'll be a short taxi because we're going to be taking off from runway 13.
13, report. Traffic 572.
Cessna 6836 Golf Provo, ground runway 18, taxi via Charlie, last run complete.
Traffic at site, suspect.
Right.
276 Juliet, follow the traffic number 2, runway 13 clear, touch go, traffic via full stop in front of you.
Yeah, that's wild. Duncan Aviation is just far. Way the heck down here. All right, clear right.
781, turn left off of 3 State Parking.
Being off the Alpha, say, would you like to go signature? Waiting for the
781, roger, taxi signature via Alpha Cross, runway 18 at Alpha, monitor.
68 Alpha Cross 18 Alpha, monitor ground, 781.
147, heli number 3, following a Archer, approaching on mile and a half, left base.
Number 3, looking for traffic, 147.
Make straight and try to follow us on a 1 mile left base, number 2, runway 13 clear to land.
Number 2, 13, clear to land, 147.
Provo Tower, clear track 204, going around.
Track 204, roger.
Provo Tower, clear track 204. We're going to be making right or left traffic for 3.
All right, see our guy here. There's somebody parked right there already?
Track 404, extend downwind, traffic follows
I think
down,
it is.
3 miles on 4 traffic
Yeah,
inside.
we're gonna have to park over the top of this guy.
Looking for traffic for track 404.
Track 204.
Ah, there we go. Alright, brakes on, engine idle, feather the prop for 15 seconds. Let's get that down to nothing.
Final runway 13 clear to land number 2.
Off, that's already off.
Clear to land number 2, clear traffic
That
404.
off.
Clear land 13, clear traffic 404.
Over there. Clear track 404, follow that with our traffic 1.5 miles. Final runway 13 cleared to land number 2.
Number 2, traffic in sight, clear to land, clear traffic
That's
404,
off.
13.
Alright, that's 15 seconds. We'll shut her down. That's off. Manual. Radio master's off.
Pressure 6876 Juliet, extend a mile upwind before left traffic.
Extend a mile upwind.
Off. Alright guys, welcome to Provo.
Can you read back your clearance? Sorry about that, I was having issues with the headset.
Number 2, clear to land 13, clear track 404.
Crash bar.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I think that's messes with it when this is my electrical stuff is on. That's what throws that off by a little bit. That makes sense if that's the case. Alright, we'll leave the folks in the airplane. Actually, we'll just let them step out, I guess.
Looking for traffic in sight, clear track 404.
Clear track 204, I'll call your base.
We'll call our base, clear track 204.
Alright, everything is shut down here.
147, turn left on Alpha 3, contact ground.
Let's hop out. Go do a little sightsee around the airport here. That's a nice airplane here, but this is Duncan Aviation. I don't know what airplane it is out there. Or drone, maybe, I don't know. But the airport looks very nice, very well made. These buildings you can't, like, I think these two airplanes are a part of the scenery. I'm not sure what this Breeze airplane is doing back here, but I definitely know it shouldn't be here. Definitely should not be here. Yeah, it definitely shouldn't be there. But again, the scenery is very well made. I like it. Again, I've had this scenery for quite some time, but what the heck is that? The airplane is this one. What is it doing? It's like it's just hovering there, watching us. Something, let's see. Is it a helicopter? No, it's not a helicopter. It's an actual aircraft. It looks like. It might be a helicopter. No, it's going, it says, I don't know what speed. It might be a helicopter. That might be a helicopter right there. Let's see. So yeah, you can't see anything inside of Duncan Aviation here. But if we go back over here to the main airport and everything, just a little bit more. Oh, there it is. Looks like an airplane, but it's, I swear, it looks like it's a helicopter. I don't know what the heck it is. It says SVN-A aircraft. But no idea what exactly that is. Why are there two airplanes stuck on the runway? That's weird. Yeah, that's got to be a. This has got to be a helicopter. It's just not showing it as one, apparently. But it's got to be a helicopter out there. But yeah, here's Signature Aviation, and their ramp got a. Looks like a. What is that? A TBM? Not a TBM. A Pilatus, maybe. Yeah, I think that's Pilatus PC-12. Yeah, everything. This, like I said, the airport looks very nice. The I don't think this building has anything in it. Yeah, it's just throughput. The Signature building, I think it has interior. Not right here, but there is an interior here. We'll go over to the terminal. This is about as much of an interior as they have. Looks kind of cool. Let's see outside there. Go back out through the building here, through the door. But it actually looks pretty good. But that building's modeled. I think this building's modeled as well. Yeah, see, I don't know what the heck. That's an airplane. They got it modeled as an airplane, but I don't know what the heck it is. It's got to be a helicopter. It's just not picking it up well. But that's from PSXT as well. But yeah, this part's modeled here. This little interior of the building. I don't think the rest. Yeah, the rest is not though. But Utah Valley University. That's what it is. What college is this? GC. This is a very nicely made airport. Got to give it to Vertical Sim for making this fantastic looking airport. They got the ice trucks out here. the ice pad, and then here's Marine One we were talking about earlier. This is a part of PSXT. It's not a part of the scenery. They just kind of threw a helicopter here. But the terminal looks pretty nice too, though. It's very nice. So if you don't have a vertical sim Provo, definitely pick it up if you're gonna fly in here or want to fly in here. Like I said, it's very well made scenery. Got breeze taxiing out somewhere. Yeah, the scenery looks very nice. They have one actual jet bridge, it looks like. Got a Legion parked over here. Let's go into the building from over here. Yeah, like I said, the interior looks very nice for this scenery. I'm pretty sure for it to be a small terminal, this is most likely what Provo actually looks like. Nice and modern looking. The alternative to flying to Salt Lake City, I assume. Just trying to get to Salt Lake City. Go to Provo and then just, I guess, rent a car and drive to Salt Lake City if you needed to. I didn't even see this part over here. Got the bathrooms. Oh, there's the rental car section over here. Hertz budget. Who's AB? AB Rentals. Who's in the last stall? Nobody. And this is where the baggage comes in at. So baggage claims and rental cars right here. That's pretty convenient. We'll go back over there. Let's go out the front door real quick. Yeah, very nice looking airport. Like I said, it looks very modern and up to date. I assume it looks like this in the real world because it's pretty detailed here in the sim. 1331 is the address. And we're over here to this side, and then that's where the TSA pre-check. Go through there. And we got the counter for a Legion and such, Breeze. It's pretty cool. Provo to Texas. Austin, Texas to be exact. Got the baggage check. Let's see, what do they got up there? Mesa, Phoenix, Santa Ana, Mesa, Las Vegas. Get the aircraft out there. This way. There's nothing back that way. Yeah, we go through pre-check. Yeah, the scenery is pretty nice. I like it. Go through security here. Back over into the main terminal. Somebody just took off. Might have been that Breeze. But yeah, it's again very nicely made here. Got a whole candy store there. Hangar 32. And got the business lounge there. Yeah, it looks very good. Very good. Restrooms. Service animal relief. Wow, that's cool. I don't think anything's in here. So they got a place for your service animals to go relieve themselves. Very nice. Nice scenery. Like I said, I've owned this scenery for, I think, almost a year, and I have never flown into here. So I figured, why not? We'll fly out here, see what it looks like. It's at Provo. All right, let's get back over to our aircraft. Let's see, is that Bree still taxiing? Or is he? Yeah, he's still taxiing down there. But again, the most perfect day to fly. It's amazing. We get down here, hop in the aircraft, and pick up our. We'll follow another IFR flight plan back to Alpine. Already kind of got it ready to go. Just about. Got a GA jet here. Net jets, flex jet. Somebody else taking off there. It was taking off, kind of disappeared. What is this? Moxie 608. This who's taking off, or who that is taxiing behind us. Where are they going though? Let's see, where are they headed? They're going to, what is that? South Bend, SBD. And I think this other guy looks like he's actually in front of me. Flex jet is going, oh, he just landed. The flex jet that's behind him just landed, it looks like. And back taxi behind him. We'll get back over here to Duncan. Get our stuff going and get out of here. Oh, that's the airplane that was just parked right here on the ramp in front of us. Give the aircraft a once over.
Traffic, number 213, clear track 404.
Let's kind of check the engine. Make sure it's golden. Got those guys are about to take off. Alright, engine looks good. Is that the alternator right here? I think that is the alternator right there.
November 6 Romeo November, follow Cessna traffic, and a 4-mile left base will be number 3, report traffic in sight.
Fantastic bird. Flex jet get up there already? Oh, he is. He's right there. air intake. They said the Flexjet just got here. I see you out there waiting for takeoff. That's weird. All right, I'll let you guys kind of sit here and watch these guys line up. Let me get this other flight plan filed so we can get ready to take off out of here. That. Can't change it to more than 2 hours. It's literally 30 minutes from now. Let's see, what are we looking at? The Diddy 1. Diddy 1? That's quite the departure name. Let's see about this Diddy 1. I wish I could see. I don't know. SimBrief changed something. If you use, say, intentions or some crap, it won't give you the real world ATIS. It'll only give you the ATIS for what, say, intention says versus what the real world is showing. There's no way to change that. I don't know where to go change it anyway. See, Sid. See what kind of departure this is. 9,000, 4,000. Now we should be able to get that with no problem. Let's see, at 150. Ground speed 326 feet per minute, or 1,250 feet per minute. Kona, then the TCH. I think we can do that. We'll roll with that.
Circling 18 approved, report wind circling runway 18. We'll pick up.
November 6 for Romeo, November, expect left Alpha 3 for traffic landing 18.
Alright, let's go ahead and file that.
Archer 76, Juliet,
right, generate. Alright, let's pull in our new flight plan here.
Provo Tower 135, we're circling.
135, roger, runway 18, clear to land. Traffic, short final 13, landing.
Alright, I think we're good. Alright, we got 30 minutes out on this departure here. Alright, let me a couple of things in. Sounds like that's the Breeze airplane taking off. Get our departure here. Transition. I think that's gonna put us out on the west side of Salt Lake City.
Tower, good afternoon. Inbound 28, American 4, 6300, like to transition to the hospital.
Inbound 28, transition approved, altimeter 3024, landing at the hospital, return rescue caution.
Alright, make sure I get it right this time. Well, that was somebody else landing, it looks like. All right, we got our stuff now. Let's hop in the airplane now and get loaded up to get out of here. Picture here.
130 clear, touch and go, left traffic,
35, turn left Alpha 4, contact ground 1 off, Archer traffic 1 mile, final 13.
Turn left Alpha 4, Wolf 35.
Provo Tower, helicopter 360, Tango Tree Farm, 4 Southeast Corporate.
Crew track 204, start your base.
Starting our base, clear track 204.
Wolf 42, runway 13, clear, touch and go. Number 2, request no delay on the runway for IFR traffic waiting to depart.
Wolf 42, clear, touch and go, runway 13, number 2. No delay, Wolf 42.
I know it's hot out here on this ramp. Close the engine cowlings. Yeah, those don't work. Just wanted to double check to make sure if it did or not. All right, that's closed. Oh, the trim is good. All right, let's go crash bar up. Yeah, see, I think my compass gets the slight interference from the electrical stuff up top, which, correction, it does say, let's see if we're eastbound, should be 92, but it's been off by way more than that. Let's see. See, look at that. Way off. As soon as we turn the battery on, it. Are we actually facing east? I don't think we are. We're kind of facing east, but like the compass shouldn't work off power. Somehow it does. Auto. Let's turn that to on so we don't forget it again. And let's get going.
Continue inbound, clear track 204.
Alright, good. All the lights are on.
Provo Tower, clear track 426, information hotel, circling over the quarry, amending to a full stop.
Crew track 426, report a 5 mile final 13.
Alright, Max.
5 miles south to 13, clear track 426.
Let's get her started. Oh, nope, can't do that. Turn you back off. We gotta get this on. On. That's on manual still. Alright, that's in the green. 69 degrees outside, that's not bad. Alright, let's try her again. 13% we introduced low idle on the condition level. Alright, 13%.
Left turn right now, with you.
November 518 Kilo Hotel, runway 13, clear for takeoff. Cessna traffic now 1 mile final.
And we got roll back there and looking for 52%.
Provo Tower, helicopter 77 Delta, Delta with information hotel, 5 miles south.
Alright,
it's 52%. Starter going off. Main generator on. We'll get these on up top.
Contact 204, runway 13, clear to land.
Runway 13, clear land, clear track.
Let's go to high idle.
Archer 76 Juliet, extend downwind.
Stand now on Archer 76. Tower Mountain 28, not too sure.
Center Mountain 28, roger.
Master on. EFIS on.
Provo Tower, helicopter 0 Tango, east of center line 4 South Corporate.
Helicopter 360, Hotel Tango, landing at the ramp will be at your own risk. Use caution.
Risk 0 Tango.
Provo Tower, clear track 426, 45 miles final.
Crew track 426.
Yeah.
Continue inbound, clear track 426.
How the heck did I not turn all of these off? Got to shut down an inertial separator. Alright, lights good. We're not going to check boosts again. The squawk VFR for now until we get our clearance.
Downwind and following traffic ahead of us.
Clear taxi 04, turn left Alpha 3, contact ground 1.
Turn left Alpha 3, contact ground 1, officer trick 204.
Foxy 608, Provo Tower, hold short, runway 13, waiting IFR release.
Alright, hold short, 13, Foxy 608.
November, 8 Kilo Hotel, contact Salt Lake departure.
That on. Alright, looks like we're good. Everything is on and set. Got flaps on landing, switches there. Left, right, right up, left, aft, forward. Check, check. Rudder's good. Alright, parking brake set. Switch that to auto. Auto.
Check 426, reduce speed available, runway 13, clear land, cautionary turbulence for Airbus traffic departing. Roger 76 Juliet, base approved, runway 13, clear, touch and go.
Alright, all looks good. We're going to get on with clearance delivery and get our clearance out of here.
442, runway 13, clear, touch and go. Number 3, cautionary turbulence for Airbus traffic departing, report in sight.
Number
That's
3,
ground we're going to get it from. It's going to be ground. 19.4, we're already on ground in towers 25.3. Alright, that checks out. Let me see. I'll go back.
Roger 76 Juliet, maintain visual separation, cautionary turbulence.
Thirty-five 17, 19.4 tower. Yeah, I guess that's where we get it from. Oops. At these temperatures, I guess we could get these on. Get these on. Their separator's already active. Get those on. Alright, let's get our clearance. Hello, Provo ground, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, looking to get IFR clearance to 46 uniform.
Clearance on request, stand by.
Foxy 608, contact Salt Lake departure. Have a good one.
Good day, Foxy 608.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Provo ground, cleared to 46U via the Diddy 1 departure. Then as filed.
Yes,
Climb
Diddy.
and maintain 8,000. Expect flight level 21010 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.85, squawk 4642. Expect runway 31.
Foxtrot 444, Provo Tower, hold short.
Alright, cleared to 46 uniform via the Diddy 1 departure, TCU transition, then is filed. Climb and maintain 8,000. Expect flight level 210, 10 minutes after departure. Departure's on 18.85. Squawk 4642, and we'll expect runway 13 for departure. TBM 850 Romeo Papa.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, read back correct.
He said read back correct. He actually gave me 3-1, which isn't correct. They're not landing runway 3-1.
Roger. Provo 703023.
We'll let you know when we're southbound out of your airspace.
Thanks.
They like edited that. I didn't say 3-1. I said runway 13. Oh crap! Hold on. You know what? I did pick 3-1. Let's see. They're not landing. They're not landing that. And Provo ground, TBM 850 Romeo Papa. Can we request departure runway 13?
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, runway runway 13 is not available. Available runways are 31 and 36.
Oh, it is. And I don't even have the thing turned. Let me make sure before I say that. I don't even have it turned on in my settings for accepting the runway that I filed. Yeah, locked runway assignment isn't even turned on. But yet I asked for a different runway and it won't give it to me. And ground TBM 850 Romeo Papa, we cannot accept runway 31. We need to use runway 13 for departure. Yeah, I accidentally picked 3-1. I don't know why I listened to Sim Brief. It's not actually even that. And Provo ground, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, for safety and performance purposes, we need to plan for runway 13 for departure. Maybe that's what's got to be said for it to work.
136, Rhode Island departure approved. Runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Yeah, they were supposed to fix that. I guess they stopped caring and just put it back because they have it in there, but it doesn't work. Let's report that in at the very least.
Runway 13, landing. Archer 76 Juliet, traffic departing runway 13, report site. Traffic site. Flagship 444, runway 13, clear for takeoff. Archer 76 Juliet, maintain visual separation, caution back turbulence, runway 13, clear, touch and go. Archer 76 Juliet, runway 13, clear to land. 13, clear, Air helicopter 130, take a pop at 6 northeast, 5,100, wind bound for southeast corner. Helicopter 130, take a pop at Provo Tower. Traffic ahead and to your left, about 3 miles south to indicate 5,300 in the helicopter over Provo. Landing on the ramp will be at your own risk, use caution. Granted, there's transition southbound. Helicopter 130, take a pop at disregard my last stop and transition approved. Sounds good. Inbound for technical approved for your team update. Pro Tower helicopter, Delta requesting to come around second and also back to signature.
And we'll report that bug. Alright, that's reported. Alright, we got 15 minutes to go. Alright, everything looks good. We got that armed. Everything else should still be good. We're good there. That's that. Got fuel flow set. Check those. I believe I already tested this as well. Let's test that. Alright, let's grab our flight plan here.
500. Cause system
Tower Cap 4302, we're looking for that traffic right ahead. We're going to continue on a 047.
Alright, PVU to 46 uniform. That checks. I changed this to runway 13.
Helicopter 130, take a pop, landing at the ramp will be at your own risk. 142, runway 13, clear touch and go. Number 2, follow Archer traffic, short final.
Cleared 13, clear touch and go 13, following traffic on short final. 142.
136, traffic off your left wing, entering the downwind. Frequency change approved.
We'll roll with that one.
Cap 4302.
Like I said, we're already down here. We got 4642. That checks out. That's correct.
We'll enter right down 1
Alright.
13, would like a couple touch and go, please.
That works.
On initial contact you have information Bravo.
Information Bravo.
Provo International Airport, information Bravo. 1956 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 31, 36.
Nah, those aren't the right runways.
Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 19er, dew point 1. Altimeter 3025. Density altitude 5700 feet.
7,000 foot. Alright, let's see.
Expect minor delays near the terminal area. Advise on
we'll just
initial
round it up
contact
to
you have
8,000.
information Bravo.
Well, not completely full,
Provo
but we can
International
expect
Airport,
just
Bravo.
under 3,300
1956 Zulu.
foot of takeoff roll.
Arriving and departing runways 31,
out of here.
36. Wind 260
Information Bravo
at
is
6.
active. Alright, we got that. What was departure frequency? $1885.
Runway 13, clear touch and go. On the go, make left traffic.
Clear touch and go, runway 13, left traffic, Cap 302.
Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, brakes off. Let's set flaps to take off. Get taxi light on. Post lights on. We've already cycled the prop and everything, so we're good there. Let's go.
442, roger. I should probably have you remind me whenever you want your full stop, because I'm going to forget.
Roger, thanks so much, 442.
Tower, good afternoon, contact 138, ILS 13, full stop.
Just double check our brakes. Good, good.
Provo Tower, 6836, call with information out, total passing 2, touch those in a full stop.
Contact 138, continue inbound. Cessna 6836, Golf, fly towards final traffic, entering a 6 mile.
Why does everything not look sharp? Something is off, feels like. Alright, that's that. Still the same. Nothing changed here. My stuff just does not look very sharp at all. Everything else looks fine, I guess. Maybe it's just this scenery. Alright, we're on ground already.
Gemini 157, Provo Tower, hold short runway 13 for short final.
And ground TBM 850 Romeo Papa. We have information Bravo here at Duncan Aviation Ramp. Ready to taxi to runway 13.
For traffic inside, 44.
Take that down, 142. TBM 0 Romeo Papa, runway 31 taxi via Alpha. Hold short of runway 18, then Alpha 5.
Juliet, frequency change approved.
Alright, runway 13 via Alpha 1, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Base approved, your discretion. Maintain visual separation with traffic holding in position 13.
Clear left.
Just my discretion, maintain separation, visual separation.
And right.
Cap 4302, when able, start your left crosswind.
Left cross with Cap 4302.
Check 138, traffic ahead into your left, Diamond Star will be basing in front of you.
Roger.
I got runway 13 here at Alpha 1. Go ahead and switch over and get 18. 85 up. Alright, take off flaps are set. Trim, we're set for trim. Actually, I'm trim up a little bit more. Out there.
Runway 13, clear for takeoff, traffic 1.5 mile final.
Our squawking altitude and our squawk code. We got 8,000 initial.
I will continue to that crosswind, Cap 4302.
And Inertia separator, everything's on there. Let's get on. My taxi lights are broken.
Run 3, looking for late turbulence, 42.
My taxi light is broken. That's cool. Somebody's in the tail dragger. Alright, we're not gonna fix it, but failures. There we go. Taxi light is broken. Should have known. Alright, we'll repair it at home. We don't need the taxi light today. We'll repair it when we get to once we get to ooh, I almost forgot. I'm glad I looked at that. Let's get oxygen on. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, we'll check the we'll get the taxi light fixed once we get to get the aircraft back to Wyoming.
Gemini 157, contact Sully departure. Have a good one.
Cat 4302, we have that traffic in sight.
Cat 4302, runway 13 clear, touch and go.
Hello, Provo Tower, TBM 850 Romeo Papa. Hold it short, runway 13, ready for departure.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Provo Tower, runway 31, winds 260 at 6. RNAV Diddy, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, copy the winds. RNAV Diddy, clear for takeoff, runway 13, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Alright. Yep, that's right. Let's bring that in so I can see that better. Alright, oh yeah, it is that turnout. Alright, let's go.
Tower 37.
Approach end is clear. That guy get off the runway yet? Runway looks clear. Departure in looks to be good too. And again, we got 13 here on the pavement. So in 2 flights, we got 2 failures. We had a de-ice boots failure, and here we got a taxi light fail. This is some good stuff here. I like that. Oh, let me get this back up. Too much. Only like right there. Alright, just inertia separator on, lights are all on, strobes are good. Get up top. Alright, let's go. Alright, the engine instruments all look good, stable, we're good to go. Let's go. Airspeed's alive. Instruments still look good. 60 knots. 80 knots. 85 and rotate. Tap the brakes. Got positive brake gear coming up. And taxi light already broken. We'll turn it off though. Transition light when it stops, it did. We'll go yaw damper on.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, contact departure.
Over to departure, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, good day. Hello, departure TBM 850 Romeo Papa, passing 5,600, climbing 8,000, RNAV Diddy.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Salt Lake departure, radar contact, climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Oh.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, say again please.
Watch our airspeed here. Our airspeed here. Let's go nav. Autopilot engage. Alright, flaps coming up. Go 850 mode. That's not 850. Almost did the wrong thing. Alright, up. Inertia separator going off. Something before we speed up too much. There's no climbing view to see it. Top altitude is 9,000. Oh, why would we why? Stop. Why would we start descending? That's stupid. What kind of freaking autopilot is this?
TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Climb and maintain flight level 210.
Climb and maintain flight level 210, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. Jeez. Obvious speed. Alright, get our power up there. About 2,000 feet a minute out of this. Alright, we're looking good. Differential pressures at 1, actually 2, almost 2. Above 10,000, we'll get lights out now. Nope, wrong thing.
714 Echo, 2,300 about 5 miles north of Willard, heading south. Sir, 75930, 11.5.
Alright, almost 12,000.
So 1623, solid departure radar contact, resume normal speed. Climb and maintain flight level 230. Normal speed, climb 230, Delta.
So winds are going to be rolling off these mountains here. So we may pick up a little bit of turbulence here. Let's turn soft ride on as well. Probably pick up a little bit of turbulence since we're on the leeward side of this mountain range here.
I'll reduce speed to 170. That's 4135, select for that stirrup, Bedard F, Zulu runway 34, left approach, resume normal speed.
At stirrup, cleared for the RNAV, Zulu runway 34, left approach, normal speed, 41.
At 13.
L flighting 130.
Yeah, the top of this mountain
Make the
range
turn across the
here is,
11 to 12 o'clock, 4 miles. Embraer joining final figure for last 8,400
For the Embraer, 518 Alpha.
4134, traffic 9 o'clock, 4 miles.
yeah, we actually are going to pass right over the top of Salt Lake City Airport. And again, I still have not gotten another email. I'm going to have to email PAX him directly and let them know so I can get my version for 2020 that's been updated. They sent me 2024, but not 2020.
Go trim it out, south turn lifting 070, maintain visual separation from the Embraer.
1680.
070, separation is on 518 Alpha.
4134, contact tower, good day. Go trim it out, hotel, descend to maintain 7,000.
Passing 15,000 now. Everything else is good. So far, no troubles from these mountains here. Up wash.
Bridge runway 3570 knots or greater than 5 miles.
170, 5 miles, 518 Alpha.
Circuit breakers are all good still. That's the other thing I gotta keep checking, make sure my circuit breakers are good.
Turn right turn.
Right turn. TBM 0 Romeo Papa, contact Salt Lake Center on 135.775.
Over to Salt Lake Center on 35775. TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Normal speed, commentate level 230, make sure for
Hello, Salt Lake Center, TBM 850 Romeo Papa, passing 16.5, climbing flight level 210.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Salt Lake Center, good afternoon.
Try to torque, make sure we keep it up there. The red line there without over torquing. See, we get some more power back there. Alright, oxygen is good, oximeter is 97, we're good there.
Salt Lake Bonanza 7212 Bravo, pushing 11,500.
123, contact Salt Lake Center 119.905. Have a good flight.
Salt Lake Center. Salt Lake Center has
Yeah, 1466, Salt Lake Center, howdy. Niner Mike Tango, contact Salt Lake Center 125.57.
I would do 18,000. Let's go standard.
November 200, flight level 390.
200, Salt Lake Center, howdy.
Oh man, it's got crosswinds here.
Charlie Golf, 0 with
good,
the X-ray, Salt Lake Center, up. Salt Lake, again, 744. 744, Salt Lake Center. Thank you, Bravo, Delta, Salt Lake Center. 16, contact Salt Lake approach.
2,000 feet to go. 12 minutes into the flight. Looking good.
Point 32.
I think the scenery's loading. I hope that's what's happening. Otherwise, what just happened?
5346, contact Salt Lake 133.6. 133.6, down at the 53.
Well, that's wild. Never had a sim completely freeze on me. Oh, there we go. That got kind of nerve-wracking.
47, cross Carter, out of maintain flight level 190 at 280 knots.
Let's see, how do I change the direction of the VO? No, it's not that one.
Seneca 8147 Delta, Salt Lake Center, the Logan altimeter is 3022. Maintain flight level 210.
Let's see.
Cross 15 miles south of Draper at flight level 210. 20 Mike Tango.
Alright, coming up on flight level 210.
Lake Delta 977, flight level 330. Delta 977.
Alright, then we'll use this. So, what we're going to be doing as a part of still is this
Great copy, 0 Mike Tango.
direction 005.
Foxtrot uniform.
60 miles from that,
for the Walker 1 arrival.
from that VOR. It's part of our route. That's the TCH 005.
And I'll have a send for you here in just a couple minutes. For now,
The radio will be on. Alright, we're coming up on cruise there.
Delta 930, contact on Lake approach 128.6. November 0, Romeo Lima, cross Wymont.
On over torque.
Actually, it was, yeah, cross Wymont.
66.9, about 67 on the fuel flow.
Carter, out of maintain flight level 200.
I don't know why that shows GPS. I guess because that syncs with that. I'm sure if I change it, it's gonna stay to. It's gonna. Oh, nice. I thought for sure this one was gonna switch with that one. All right, I can utilize this one now. All right, so we'll go to 005. I was sure that was gonna be It's gotta be 10, 20, 30.
That time is no factor now. Radar services terminated. Velocity R frequency group.
That'll switch to from on the 005 radio once we cross it. Before we make our turn toward Heber.
I'll be over the next 13 seconds.
That's cool. I didn't think I could use. I can switch this one without interfering with this one on GPS. That's good to know. Now I can utilize that my second VR for what I needed it for.
657, contact Salt Lake 124.35.
Put that there.
Runway 35.
Actually 2. Yeah, put 2 on the screen there. That's sweet. Alright, 71 degrees in the cabin, we're at 4,000.
County altimeter is 3027. For higher for crossing traffic.
We had 22. We're gonna have to increase our cabin altitude as well because Alpine is 5,800 feet, 5,600 feet. So plus 500 to be 6,000 is what we'll have to set the.
0 miles south of the
that's what we'll set
Fairfield
the
QR at
pressurization to.
20 miles south of Fairfield at 210, 0 Mike takeoff.
Holy cow, we already passed over Salt Lake City. Jeez Louise.
35.
Salt Lake City. And I realized we passed it already. I think that's what was loaded earlier when it slowed us down.
Said you are able.
Yeah, I did not realize we were already over Salt Lake, but that's what slowed us down was Salt Lake City Airport loading in.
Direction 795 traffic is 11 o'clock and about 5 miles westbound, Boeing 737 16,000, 171 5,000.
All right.
3232 traffic is 2 to 3 o'clock and 4 miles southwestbound, Sounder 35, level at 14,000.
Question 2113, Salt Lake Center.
Exit 431, Salt Lake Center, roger.
Center Delta 1210, passing 15,300 for flight level 230.
Delta 1210, Salt Lake Center, climb maintain flight level 330.
Climb maintain flight level 330, Delta 1210.
And expect at 231, safe position.
All right, Alpine, yeah, 5,600 feet elevation. We're going to be planning for runway 13 is the plan. Not going to do an RNAV approach. They'll probably clear us for it, but we're not doing RNAV. We're just going to go, once they give us descent,
Executive 431, Salt Lake Center, yeah, I see you out
get
there
that
now.
going.
They're actually about to violate me, so that's actually the other controller's problem. But return to your
92.
free, well, actually, I just stayed here. I'll give them a call. I'll hire you in a couple minutes here. Southwest 3232, contact Salt Lake approach 128.6.
22.9 is what we're
Executive
switching to.
795, find maintain flight level 320.
All right, so we're now in the two out from. Like I said, we're going 60 miles from the TCH VOR before we start on course to Keeper, which is, as you see, is the next waypoint after TCH.
Maintain flight level 330.
So we're just outbound course on the, like I said, from TCH VOR.
Delta 2247, contact
And
Salt
then
Lake
from
approach
here,
4.9.
go to Hebrew. Why is it going? I don't think it goes. Does it keep going that way? It slowly kind of turns a little bit more north. Apparently it does, but that lines us right up with our airport at Hebrew.
Right now,
That says 14.3.
Keeper altimeter 3023, and just about the approach request when you get one.
3023, and I'll just see the visual from Charlie November. 6 stripe 491, contact Salt Lake Center 125.57. 25.57, big ship 191.
That's 5540, same launch number. That's 5542, I'm keep 1.75 for traffic, please.
79 Salt Lake Center.
Number 200, contact Salt Lake Center, 13. Nope,
Yeah, we'll have our maintenance guy look at the look at our fix our taxi light when we get where we want.
744 across
Once we get back home.
maintain 14,000.
If you live in this neighborhood, you're clearly too rich to pay for a taxi light. I mean, to fix the taxi light yourself. So we just get in touch with the with our maintenance guy, have him fix it. The taxi light is definitely broken. Oh, and you see, that's the other thing I didn't do. I didn't do our light test. I forgot to do the light test. The light works, but it didn't turn on to show that the actual light is on. I've been forgetting to do the light test up there.
124.29, that's Gary, uniform November Delta 24.9er, 1249er. 1249er, thank you, bye-bye.
128.32.
Charlie Hotel Echo. November 0 Romeo Lima, contact Salt Lake approach 118.85.
Alright, 35 miles now from the VOR, and still 24 miles to go before we're 60 miles from it. Got a crosswind at 35 knots.
South 40, contact Denver Center, 128.32.
There was some update today. I sure hope that update did not screw them with 2020 and making the terrain look worse. I couldn't make it not do it, but I swear the terrain does not look all that great right now. My stuff's good. Doesn't look as sharp and
Yeah, if they
crisp.
don't answer this time, come back to me and I'll give them a call. For 31, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77. Going 322, Salt Lake Center.
Flight level 390.
November 0 Romeo Lima, roger, stand by here for a minute. Delta 1659, contact Salt Lake approach 128.6. 26, Delta 1659, Delta 1210, climb and maintain flight level 330.
Contact flight level 330, Delta 1210.
4 Foxtrot Papa, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77. 355, contact Salt Lake Center 119.95.
Number descend at pilot's discretion and maintain 13,000 for the field site.
0. Let's maintain 15,000 and Salt Lake up to 3020.
59, Salt Lake Center, welcome to occasional light top.
8. November 7212 Bravo, Salt Lake Center, Delta altimeter is 3021. 3021, Bonanza 12 Bravo.
Westjet 2113, traffic 11 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound Airbus, leaving 50343, Contact 50350.
2113.
American 2944, traffic 1 o'clock, 10 miles northbound, 737 50360.
And flight American 2944.
Yeah, we're slightly off course. I can see it on fourth flight as well, but for some reason on the GPS it's showing like we're right on the money.
4 Foxtrot Papa, Salt Lake Center, welcome. Vernal altimeter 3025. Provide the local weather when you get closer.
1871 Salt Lake Center, expect runway 35.
321.
Who's the other?
It's not bad.
717 with check in. 167 for 230. Skyleft 3717 Salt Lake Center, climbing same flight level 330. Fine, flight level 330. Could you make that our final? Let's go 3717. Roger, also that's fine. Thank you. Two Charlie, November, Roger. Alpha cancellation received. Squawk KFR for your change group today.
Now that we're getting on cue, we should see the start to move in much closer.
Sub 1277 Salt Lake Center, climbing same flight level 330. Go 3717, we're getting airspeed by approach. We were 270 or better, we're currently 270, what would you like? Go 3717. Go 3717, keep doing that please, thank you. Delta 475 Salt Lake Center, expect runway 35. It's going to be a few minutes for low for traffic. In 83, negative, if you're on a traffic management reroute.
Hey man, Caleb, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
74410.
Yeah, I really like this flight too, especially definitely enjoyed the Grand Canyon stuff yesterday. But yeah, this was pretty good, especially getting to fly into Provo. Like I said, I haven't gotten to fly into there in a while. Well, I haven't flown into Provo since my P3D days. So it was pretty cool to get to do that flight. And I really do like this airport, this Alpine airport out here in Wyoming. It's a nice place. The last time I flew there, I was doing the flight. It was when I was doing a little city flights and the GA flights after we landed there doing the schedule. And it was when we flew to Jackson Hole, and I jumped into 172, I think, and landed at Alpine. Thought it was pretty cool. That scenery, everything. That's how I even found out about the place. So I figured, hey, we're going to have us a little hangar house, Alpine. That'll be where we take off out of.
Skywest 3693, Salt Lake Center, climbing maintain flight level 330.
So yeah, it's been pretty cool. I like it.
Medevac 603 Alpha Charlie, do your best to be level within 4 minutes for flow, please, and reaching 15,000 close to 250 knots.
Alright, reaching 150, 4 minutes left.
Medevac 603 Alpha Charlie, at this one you reach 15,000 close to 250. Skywest 5526, contact Salt Lake approach 128.6.
And I mean, just the past 2 days have been crystal clear out in this part of the country. Excellent weather for doing some VFR flying and just flying in general. You see TAF reports that's like 2 lines. Yeah, you're good.
Delta 841, 16.2 up 230, 270 left. Delta 841, Salt Lake Center, front maintain flight level 330. Okay, 330, Delta 841. 17, clear direct Phoenix VOR. Direct Phoenix VOR, Delta 37. The 475 to your best across frenzy at 14,000 and best below those 250 knots. The Salt Lake altimeter 3020. Salt Lake Southwest 259239. Southwest 2592, Salt Lake Center. We're all done here.
But it is right behind us at the same altitude.
Alright, Ken, I understand you're done. And
Delta
would you like direct talking now?
8330.
Yeah, sure. Direct oxygen 30.
Fire Ken, Stephanie Roger.
2100
direct
feet.
oxygen.
I'm assuming he's climbing. Where's he going? Oh, he's going to Paris.
Altimeter 30.
LFPG.
Down to 13,000 direct oxygen.
Yeah, he'll come flying over the top of us. He just left Salt Lake Center. And it's an A330, makes sense why he's climbing slow. He's literally right on our tail.
516 Salt Lake Center, run. Medevac 603 Alpha Charlie, contact Salt Lake approach.
There he goes back here.
To climb through 150 up to 1.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, whenever you'd like to descend and maintain flight level 190.
And I will have higher...
Alright, we'll descend and maintain flight level 190, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Step 2 on the 00 final. And I appreciate it. Sound like good.
There he goes.
6074, United 6066.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, descend and maintain 15,000 feet, altimeter 3027.
Alright, descend and maintain 15,000, altimeter 3027, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Delta 475, turn 15 degrees west, vector 4 traffic. You got Delta 475, turn 15 degrees west, vector 4 traffic. Delta 475, turn 20, 20 degrees west, now vector 4 traffic. Island 11, turn an additional 15 degrees left.
0.9er today.
Oh, make sure we don't over torque here.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, descend and maintain 1,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 11,000, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. 11,000 set. Yeah, let's bring this back to 100. Get it out of 850 mode.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, turn right, heading 020 vectors for the RNAV runway 31 approach.
Right turn to 020, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Now to maintain flight level 31031. What's up on flight level 310?
It's a private airport, so you can't really force us for that. He'll hand us off anyway once we get where we're going.
November 3, Juliet Whiskey, contact Salt Lake approach 118.85.
Ooh, that's a bump.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, contact Salt Lake approach on 133.25.
Over to Salt Lake approach on 3325, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Zulu. Wind 260 at 9er. Visibility 9er.
Flight set
Sky clear.
593, contact Salt Lake Center
Temperature
135.77.
-1. Altimeter 3027.
Hello, Salt Lake approach, TBM 850 Romeo Papa is descending past 17.6 down to 11,000.
Density altitude 7500 feet.
TBM 850 Romeo Papa, Salt Lake approach. Good afternoon, Alpine altimeter 3027.
Wind 260 and 90.
3027, TBM 0 Romeo Papa.
Visibility 90. Sky clear. Temperature 23, dew point -1. Altimeter 3027. Density altitude 7500 feet. Alpine Airport, automated weather observation. 2055 Zulu.
Alright, he gave us that already, so good. Back to about 80% here. That's approach. We got 22,900. I think we're right up here.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, proceed direct Heaper. Cleared for the RNAV runway 31 approach.
Alright, direct Heaper. Clear for the RNAV 31 approach, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. That's weird. So I think he just took us out away from the mountainous area that didn't have us go back direct. Like I said, it's not a towered airport, so we'll cancel IFR here soon enough.
$33.25 Delta 220 Heavy Swan.
Alright, differential pressure is decreasing. Yeah, he'll give us airport at our 12 o'clock or some sort and continue from there. Should see the lake coming up. It's pretty bumpy down here. We're about a wind from that mountain range. Definitely from off our left. We get a little bit more bumpy because the winds are off our left there. We'll come rolling over those mountains there. That'll be just around this bend. Alright, I see the lake there.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa, radar services terminated. Alpine Airport at your 1 o'clock 19er miles. Change to advisory frequency approved. Squawk VFR. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach this frequency. So long.
And we have the field hour 12 o'clock here, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. We'll go ahead and cancel IFR with you and we'll squawk VFR. Salt Lake approach, TBM 0 Romeo Papa. We'd like to cancel IFR with you. Yeah, it's supposed to say report in sight. Once you say report in sight, then it's switch over to advisory and cancel with this. Salt Lake approach, did you copy? They just completely went away. That's wicked. Salt Lake approach, TBM 850 Romeo Papa. Wow, that's wild.
TBM 0 Romeo Papa,
okay.
Go ahead.
We'd like to cancel IFR with you now. Okay, whatever. Alpine Airport, TBM 0 Romeo Papa is 10 miles south of field inbound for the right downwind runway 13 Alpine. Let's go ahead and get inertia separator on. Oh, inertia separator's on. Below 180. Get lights up. Alright, that checks. Let's go gear down. And take off flaps set. Alpine Park traffic, TBM 0 Romeo Papa is on the right downwind for runway 13 Alpine. Alright, let's disconnect the autopilot. Yaw dampener off.
Search 3848, checking in, bottom 3.
Let's go landing flaps. We got 3 green on the gear, so we can kind of dive down and get set up, an easy setup. We don't have to go so far out. Get that speed up to at least 100. Hang out over this direction here. Make it an easy turn inbound. Gotten better with the 777. I can land at 80 knots. What the heck are you doing landing at 80 knots in the 777? That is wicked. That's got to be with no passengers, no cargo, no nothing for 80 knots. All right, we got 3 green on the gear. We're all set. Yaw dampers away. Lights are on. Lights are all on. Taxi light is broken. And Alpine Park traffic, TBM 0 Romeo Papa is turning right base, runway 13, Alpine. Our speed here. Terrain inhibitor off just in case. And Alpine traffic, TBM 0 Romeo Papa is turning base to right base to final, runway 13, Alpine. That was pretty good. $122. I was about to say, dude, what are you doing? That makes more sense. All right, we got to go back there toward the back. Park. Welcome back to Alpine,
traffic,
guys.
helicopter Corey Gulf, currently 4 miles to the south of the airport, out of 6,900 inbound for landing, Alpine.
And Alpine traffic, TBM 0 Romeo Papa, clear runway 13, Alpine. Let's go flaps up. Yeah, it's 23 out. Off. I thought I turned it off already. And we get these guys off. Flaps are coming up there. We'll leave landing lights on since we don't have an actual taxi light. Tram back then, green.
Alpine air traffic, helicopter Corey Gulf, 2.5 miles to the south, planning a straight in, runway 31, Alpine.
Clear that off. Alright, we look good. Let's taxi back into our hangar. Clear left and right. Welcome back to Alpine. Flaps are up. That was what, 51 minutes of flight time. Can't beat it. Turn the oxygen off. Turn strobe lights off though.
Alpine air traffic helicopter 48 call is cleared and active into the refuge Alpine.
You see cars passing on the roads up there. That's pretty cool. Alright, clear that way. Scenery isn't great, but it looks, this one does look good. Alright, there we go. Let's go brakes on. Leave it at idle. Let's feather the prop as well. Leave it at idle. Alright, let's turn you off. That's good. Bleeds off. Manual. Those off. Master off. That's out. Let's see. Looks like everything else is good. Alright, let's turn off the master. And off. Condition lever. Off. 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 Down. Nav light can go off as well. So we shut it down there. We're golden. Thing looks good. We'll fill it up again next time we fly. We'll just throw the chocks on for right now. Actually, we'll leave the chocks off because we got to push it into the hangar whenever that happens. And new failures, none. We'll go ahead and clear it out though. Show that it's been fixed by our maintenance personnel. So we're good there. Alright, everything up top is good. I have a once over from this trip we just did. Again, we covered over 1,000 miles on these 2 days worth of flying. Have a look over on all of that stuff. Yeah, there we have it. I wish the tow bar actually worked. We'd be able to actually push it back there into the hangar. But otherwise, the aircraft looks pretty good, I'd say. Again, good flight. We came in a little bit hot coming into this airport, but other than that, Provo was pretty nice. Minus the Minus the localizer not capturing well, but otherwise not bad. But there you have it, guys. Welcome back to Alpine Air Park. We'll call that a day. Let me clear that. But other than that, hey man, as always, Caleb, I appreciate you flying along with me or hanging out in the stream here with us. Glad you enjoyed it. Anyone else who may have stopped by, lurked, appreciate it as well. Other than that, like I said, we'll get ready to get the flight going tonight. I think we'll have like a midnight departure time from Dublin, so we can get back to Charlotte around 7 or 8 a.m., one of those two. So I'll get all that set up, Caleb. You should see the thumbnail in the next couple of hours or so when we're going to do that flight, of what time that flight's going to kick off, and see you on the next one. Later.
300 climbing 9,000, heading 344.35.
Delta 1120, Salt Lake Center, check runway 34 left.
340, 3.21 Bravo. Firewall 370. United 1534, Salt Lake Center, Roger. Salt Lake Center, Roger. Report the weather and vernal. I have no pertinent notum. The vernal altimeter is 3025. Okay, altitude, type aircraft and destination.
November 1372 Echo, Roger. Okay, we're going to have to work out some alternate routing because whether I put you on the airway or direct, I'll need to climb you to 1-2000. Are you able to direct Malad and then direct to Burley, direct to